All the way live. It's all the way live. I told you I was going to take y'all to the shop with me today. You know what I'm saying? So how did we get here? I was on a red carpet going to a Fanatics party, and I was asked, how do I keep my cut so fresh? And I was explaining that I value my barber, and so much so, I literally flew him to Phoenix to give me a cut. And then I went on to say, if you want quality, you gotta pay for it. And then I also acknowledged a barber's time is worth money. Their skills are worth money. And therefore, I suggested that you should pay $100 for your haircut. For those that don't know me, I'm from the northwest side of Detroit, and that ain't for everybody. If you work a blue-collar job and live that lifestyle, obviously that's not for you. Single mother, kids, trying to do what they can to make ends meet, that ain't for you. So then, I started to realize something. People actually trying to suppress the earning potential of barbers. Like me right now, I'm supposed to have a 9 o'clock appointment. I'm late. So it's probably gonna throw off his whole day. But I'm always gonna champion for the working class individuals to earn more. Whatever the profession. Teachers, barbers. I feel like they're underpaid and they're underappreciated by society. But when you're trying to go get fresh, or go to a job interview, or go on a date, or go take pictures, guess what the first thing you do? You hit up your barber. And so then I realized something else. People got upset. Again, I know that ain't for everybody. It wasn't for me growing up. I know. I'm the person in the Fab 5 doctor said you can't get a fresh cut every day. I know. I know that ain't for everybody. But let's talk about importance. And I'm not going to put a salary on it, but say you're making $75,000, $100,000 a year. Do you expect to still spend $35 on a haircut? That ain't showing value. Uh-oh, let me move on. Y'all got me running late for my appointment. And just so y'all know, there are barbers that charge that, are worth that, and get paid that daily. And then I realized some people trying to slander me, trying to assassinate my character, saying this ain't my hair. Yeah, I'm 50 years old. Of course I put some color in my hair because it's only like 10 or 15% gray. If it was like 50% gray, then I wouldn't do it. But since it's only like 15% gray, I'll do it. I ain't mad at the people who flex their grays. I ain't mad at it. But I don't have that many, so I ain't flexing them yet. Straight up. So now I'm about to go to my appointment and let y'all go to the shop. I'm gonna hide my location for my safety and my privacy, but I'm running late for the appointment. Take it to my guy's office. Walking in my guy's office, there's somebody else in here. I want to respect her privacy, so I'm not going to put her on camera. Good day, how are you?
Oh, hello, how are you, sir?
Good. I'm on Instagram Live, and I ain't want the whole world to be all up in your business. I'm at the shop now. Hold on, let me set this up. What up, though, family?
What's up, man? How you doing?
This is my guy, Shiz, 215 exclusive.
Oh, we gonna get into it today.
You know what I'm saying?
Gonna get into it.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into it. Let me set this up. I know this ain't what you do. Thank you very much.
You know this is not what I do.
He mad at me.
This is not what I do. I'm a humble dude from Southwest Philly. I'm not into having an open forum about what costs what and talking about value, but we're going to discuss what we consider valuable in our community. Because I looked at the comments and everything else, but we're going to get into it. Let's talk about value and the behavior in our culture about value. We're going to box it in. We're going to talk about value today.
Let's do it. So hold on, let me set this up. I'm moving stuff around.
Let me help you out.
Thanks, sir. Let's put that up there. Is that too far back? No, that's good. Yeah, we can sit it right here. Let me see. Let me see. Is that too far back? No, that's good. Right? Can y'all still hear me? Let's bring it a little closer. Let y'all see let y'all see an artiste at work. Let y'all see how quality is done. Hold on. Yes, indeed. So again, like I said, paying $100 ain't for the working class, ain't for the blue collar, definitely is not for the poor. And the crazy thing about it is how people took that as a chance to try to slander me.
Let me just interject.
Okay.
When you're talking about $100 for a haircut, we're talking about the value of things. All right, so that's cool. So I come from Southwest Philly. I come from humble beginnings. I come from cutting hair in the basement. This man comes from the ghetto. This comes from Detroit. So I understand that everybody can't afford a $100 haircut. Everybody can't afford a $60, $70, $80 haircut. I get that. But let's talk about the value in which you deem value for those who are talking about, I'm only paying $30, $40 and these barbers are tripping about certain numbers and things of that nature. Let's get into that before I even start this haircut. So, as a man, and I'm going to quote my man Wallow. Wallow say, you take care of those who take care of you to the best of your ability. Don't get me wrong. So, if you're making $60, $70, $80, $100,000 a year, what's wrong with showing the value to how you feel when you get a haircut? Let me say this again. So when you get out the chair and your barber pours all this love on you, the enhancement, the razor, the shampoo, the conversation, and you're confiding in him about your marital problems and this, that, and the other, and you give him only what he asked you for, because he basically might be sitting up in a situation where he's in an economic place where he's trying to grow. He's trying to do his thing. So he's not going to price as if he's in a Los Angeles or New York City or he's in a major metropolitan city. So he has to base his price for that particular number. But when you got out the chair, you felt like $1 million. You felt like $1 million, right? And that's cool. But again, let's talk about value. Let's say you went and got a haircut. That's the first thing you're going to do anyway. You got a date. You're taking a young lady out. How much is average you're going to spend on a date? How much you going to spend on your date? You take her out. You valet your car as a dub. Okay, cool. You take it to a steakhouse. That meal between two people is at least $200. You wouldn't have got the date without the cut. Exactly. Let's talk about value.
Yep.
Again, you're on your way to take your peoples to church. You're on your way to meet your mother. You're on your way to a job interview. Now, that's one thing. I understand that. You're trying to get the job, so forth and so on. But we're still talking about the value and how you feel. Because if you didn't feel like $1 million, like you was every man in the month when your barber laid it in on you, you would cut your own hair. The anxiety that men feel when they have to switch a barber is ridiculous. People lose their mind. And if your cut is messed up, when you get a messed up cut, you're subject to rumble the barber. The barber is in a detrimental situation because if he mess you up, he got to rumble the dude that's in the chair. So he's going to pour the love on you. All I'm saying is, if you have it, don't demean the position of the man putting love on you because it's valuable. And let's keep talking about value. Let's keep talking about this value. Most dudes, when they come get a cut, they go to the club. Y'all go to the club. You know what this culture is like right now. Y'all busting bottles left and right. You at the strip club throwing bread. You go to the club and spend $2, $3, $4 grand. But you gonna bust down and get your barber who made you hot to go to the club in the first place a funky $30, $40, $50. And that $30, $40, $50, don't get me wrong, it's not a funky thing depending on where you are in your demographic and community that you live in. We all come from humble beginnings. I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna keep saying that. Because we're all trying to ascend and grow. But my thing is, you're not gonna stay at a job that is not paying you correctly, and with inflation, as everything goes up, but you don't want to pay your barber as everything goes up and you get your raise. Let's keep it a bean, as we call it. Let's keep it a bean. And I'm gonna get a little bit, I'm gonna let Jay talk, but I'm gonna get a little heavy on you. You dating this beautiful woman, you dating a beautiful chick. Beautiful. Ask her how much her eyelashes cost. I'm gonna get close, my nigga. An eyelash appointment at a salon, at a professional salon, at any given, I don't care where she at in the hood, or where she at in the cities, or whatever. The application is $100 to $350 for her eyelashes. For her eyelashes, bro. So you complaining about a 30, 40, when the barber goes up on you, you complaining about it. But you want a razor, you want a fade, you want a mohawk, you want designs. This man is pouring his pain and learning how to do this professionally onto you. And he's giving you so much more. He's making it convenient for you. He's keeping it the bean for you. He's keeping it always thorough for you. Make sure you get in, get out. My thing is an appointment only. I make sure this dude ain't next to this dude because they got beef. This section ain't next to this section because that's the issue. I'm private. So I calls for a premium, and I've been in the game for 30 plus years. If you know my background, I come from Philly. We learned this game in 1990, 91 as a select few barbers that came out with straight razors and colors and things of that nature. I come from that culture. I'm one of the originals. Check my pedigree. I'm not going to talk too fly about myself. But again, if your woman can pay $1 for her eyelashes and you complaining about $50, $60 plus a tip, and if you're making $60, $70, $80,000 a year, you shouldn't even be on here complaining about making sure your barber eat.
I seen celebrities, I seen athletes
absolutely
complaining about
we're not in the culture of your grandmother's and grandfather's time. Gas is what? The cost of doing business, nobody on here has ever done business who owns a business. The cost of doing business has almost doubled in the last 2-3 years. If your barber goes up $5 on you, y'all snicker like little girls. Stop that. And I'm not saying certain barbers aren't price gouging, because if his hand don't call for him to call for a $100 haircut, by all means, humble yourself, beloved. Humble yourself. But if you've been in the game 20, 30 years, you've traveled around the world, you perfected crafts, you've studied your craft, and you are that guy, you're that guy in your hood for a reason. Your book is heavy for a reason. For a reason. Guess what? If you mess somebody's haircut up and they got to go to somewhere else and look for a haircut, every man on here, listen, they know the anxiety is heavy when you got to look for a new barber. It's heavy. And you go through trial and error. You're paying for comfortability. You're paying for expertise. You're paying for that ism you got when you get out of here. You think you can conquer the world. You get in a divorce, you get a haircut, you feel better. You go through something with your lady, you feel sexy, you feel better. You go into the club, you're not buying a new suit. Let's talk about value again. Hold up. You can go to Louis Vuitton or Celine, wherever. Spend a stack on a shirt. Go to the bar and go to a restaurant, take your chick out, spend another $200, $300, $400 on a meal. But you're going to give your barber a funky $30, $40. Let's talk about that, man. In our community, where is the value when you support your own? I'm going to quote my man Wallow again. Take care of those who take care of you. And if you can't afford a $100 haircut, you know your barber deserves more than the $30. You know it. If he put a razor on you or enhancement and he's pouring his love into you, he's taking 30, 40, an hour on you, and you give him a little $30, that man got a family. That man is taking care of. There is no health insurance. He got to pay for that. There's no slip and fall liability on his hands. You got to pay for that. Most barbers, hairstylists, and makeup artists, if they've done this thing for a long period of time, it becomes a thing where as though you get muscle atrophy, you get spinal stenosis, you have problems with your hands, you get problems with your feet, you get neck problems. There's no health insurance for us, beloved. We pay for everything out of pocket. So you standing up 10, 12 hours a day, and you walk in at 9, 10 o'clock at night. He been grinding since 6 in the morning, and you ain't got nothing for him.
And they expect you to get $35 and cut 10 heads
a
day.
A day.
How often can that happen? How realistic is that?
Listen, it can be done, and this guy's out there grinding, don't get me wrong. But take care of those that take care of you and to find the value. And I'm saying, if you don't find value in what your barber's doing, or you don't want your barber to know that you value him like you should, then you need to check yourself. Because in our community, we have a tendency to want something more for less. We do. We support each other, but we don't support each other like we should. And I'm not saying ball your barber out. I'm not saying that. But you know he's worth more than what you're giving him. You know your hairstylist is worth more. And let's talk about statistics. At the end of the day, men have it's been statistically shown that men make more money than women. You can Google that. You can quote me on that. You can Google that. Understood. You're a woman at a MAC makeup counter. Makeup to holler at you for that evening because you taking her out. It's anywhere from $60 to $300 for, they call it a face beat. And guess what? It only lasts how long? Or the date lasts how long? Or you spending money at the club lasts how long? One night. The cut you get, and he put the right thing on you, lasts you for 7 days to a week. You taking that same cut the next night, and you back out in the streets, you in the club. Taking pictures, you taking flicks, you chopping it up, you making your rounds. When you get out the chair, you feel like you gotta, I've seen grown men take selfies, and that's what we consider we don't do that as thorough dudes, thorough cats. You taking selfies, you know what I'm saying? You wanna floss your thing, you feeling flossy. But that's what you're paying for. So don't get to a place where you wanna devalue what the person that's providing you the service, so you can feel comfortable like you got something more for less. And that's just how I feel about it. So if you're in a demographic where you can't pay that man a bean, I understand you may not be making that. I guarantee there's levels, as my man Nick said, it's levels to this shit. There's levels to it. But guaranteed, If he's asking for $30 and you making $60,000 a year, and that's average for most of us, you can give him more than $30 if he poured love into you, knowing you felt like $1 million when you left. The value is that I'm getting long-winded. The value is what you deem valuable, and you know the aesthetic of who you are and how the world perceives you is valuable to you. It's not about the look, but how the world perceives you in that look is valuable. The reason why you go to your barber, because he's deemed valuable, because he makes you feel a certain way when you leave. That's value. So don't put your value in certain things that's fleeting. Barber been with you 5, 10 years. He go $5, you have a connection. But if Celine goes up, Louis goes up, the price of doing business goes up, gas, electric goes up, man, if you rent an apartment, they go up 3.5% to 5% every year on your rent. You don't complain then? Your barber goes up, it's an issue. Stop it, man. You got to do better. Support those who support you. If he take your hairline back, you lose your mind. He got you right. You like, man, that's my man. You got me fresh. And then you give him the basic bread that he asked for, instead of giving above and beyond about giving what you feel and not what he asked for. He needs to grow also. So let's talk about what's valuable, man. What we perceive as value. Something that lasts you 7 to 10 days or 2 weeks. But you go out and you spend a bunch of bread that night on things that last for the moment. And you wouldn't have got there without the cut. You wouldn't have got the chick without the cut. You wouldn't have got the club without the cut. You wouldn't have bought and paid $4,000 for that tailor-made suit, and you won't put it on without a cut. You're not going to see your mama without a cut. You're not doing anything without getting fresh first. And you're not going to somebody who you think is going to push your line back, or you would go to the barber school, because they're learning. There's a grading curve there. But somebody who's evolved in this game, come on, stop it. Stop it. And I'm going to fall back and do my thing.
But also, while you do your thing, I want to make sure that I acknowledge that barbering is a trade. It's a skill. Like, you're a professional. And correct me if I'm wrong. You've been cutting and doing this since the early 90s. A haircut cost the same then that it costs now.
Let's say that. Let's how about this? I might be a little too soon. In 2000, haircuts was $30. That was 23 years ago. I'm gonna say that again. In 2000, haircuts was $30. That was 23 years ago. And this is not the only thing that I do. I only do this for private clients. From now, I've graduated. I've done a lot of different other things. First of all, shout out to Tri-City Barber School in Philly up north. That's where I got the trade from. Shout out to UCLA Television Film, where I ascended to, and everybody who I've ever done work for, behind the scenes, conduit, aesthetics, whatever. But also on the same token, without learning how to do this and using this, would have never got me out the hood. It would have never got me out of 215, baby. So I rep that to the fullest, and I'm never too old to front on this particular craft and what it represents. And my thing is, if you want to hinder your barber from growing, you stopping that man's growth as a human being. Because you're not giving him his just due. Give him his just due. If you feel as though you feel good about what he's doing to you, let him know. Let's talk more, dude.
I basically saw people who feel like they want to keep paying what they're paying, so they mad at me because they think I'm going to now force barbers to charge more. That's their value. That's the whole point. And again, this ain't for those who have blue-collar jobs or can't afford it, that type of thing.
Let me interject. Whether you can afford it or not, look at how you feel, the value in what you feel when your main man is done. Translate that into being reciprocal in what he gave you. That's all I'm saying. Whether you got a blue collar job and you only making $500 a week, or you making $5,000 a week, let your peoples know. Take care of those who take care of you. Because guess what? Even though you may not be able to afford that $100, you spent $200 on that date. That's the value in it. You went to the mall, you got them them Jordan 1s, you got that. But guess what? You're not going on a date with them Jordan 1s unless you come see somebody like me first. Show the value in things, man. Where's the value at? You want to devalue that process and not allow the guy that's helping you with that to grow. You're hindering it. Don't do that. Like, it's to the point where, like, I had to check Cat's character even with me, like, you trying to shortchange me. I give you my all. When you come to me, you either photo shoot ready, television or film ready, or performance ready. That's what I do. I'm gonna make you feel your best. Like, you can conquer the world. You Ebony Man of the Month on page 46, how I get down. That's how Tommy Brown get down. So if that's the case, you gotta compensate that. You gotta compensate. It's just that simple.
I was really disappointed in the public figures who I know make
Let me say
6,
this.
7
No
figures.
disrespect to no public figures. They've ascended from humble beginnings too. And they're used to paying a humble price. Again, we're talking about value. If they don't value the experience that that barber is giving them, they're going to stay stuck in that same mental element of, man, I ain't giving no barber no 50, 60, 70, 80, $100 for no haircut. Because that's who you were. That's not who you are. Who you were conditioned to be that way because you were in an economic unsound position. You grew. And your main man is making you aesthetically appeasing to your public that helps your brand identity. So he needs to grow. So you need to pay like you weigh. It's just that simple. How can you play your man that's been with you from day one short? You grew. It's like I said, like again, you're not going to stay at a job nowhere that they don't give raises. You get a raise twice a year. But your barber go $5 on you, or he said, well, you know, house calls is $200, or it's $100 a haircut, or it's 50 plus this plus that, and you're sitting here making 6 figures a year, and you're complaining.
Literally complaining. And then telling other people.
Gas is how much? It's the shortage on eggs, dog. Eggs.
Eggs cost $9, $10.
Come on. If you got a family as a barber, or anybody, let's talk about rent. Rent is how much? A 2-bedroom apartment where in any major metropolitan city is what, $3,000 a month? Yeah. So how is he going to survive if he's taking care of his family, doing what he does, pouring love into you? He see you got to drive a $100,000 car, you have a nice establishment, you got a nice environment for your family, you take care of everything, and he's pouring love into you to make sure you are well-groomed for that situation, and you giving him $30. And you grew, and you're not letting him grow. Let's talk about value. It's what you deem valuable. And if you don't deem what he does valuable as a barber, I think...
Voicemail, like I said.
Listen, if you don't deem what he does valuable, find somebody else. Go somewhere else. And I'm talking to the barbers now because I know it's a lot of cats who never seen me before, might have heard, or whatever the case may be. If a dude can't respect your grind, how you mastered your craft, your hustle, he's been in your chair, and you know you done blazed him out for everything he's ever done in his life. Job interview, the chick, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he's one of those dudes, you know the individuals I'm talking about who have an issue with going up with a price. A deemable price. Get rid of him. Change your demographic. Change who you solicit yourself to. Because people who out here who appreciate a thorough dude that keeps his mouth shut, keeps your secrets, and gives you a thorough cut. Your barber's your therapist. I don't care what you say. Because your barber got no secrets about you that nobody else knows, and you give him $30 for a funky haircut, and he keeping you out of hot water. You know what I'm saying? Be clear.
So I was on the red carpet going to a Fanatics event, and they asked me how over the years have I always kept a fresh cut. And anybody that knows me, you watch Jalen and Jacoby, we've made this a bit. Anybody that know me know I always talk about I value my barbers. And I work with the best barbers. And I told them, for a quality barber, I literally flew Shiz to Phoenix to give me a cut that day. And I talked about valuing their time, appreciating their skills, and compensating them for it. Again, I know everybody cannot afford to spend $100 on a haircut. But I do know there are people out there that can, that aren't willing to, because you guys want to suppress the barbers getting paid. And that's what I don't like.
And on top of that, again, that breaks it back down. We're talking about you don't see the value. And if you do, you don't want your barber to know that he's valuable. That says a lot about who you are as a person to me. It does. It does. If you've grown and the people who you've taken care of haven't grown, then that says a lot about me. That says a lot about you. Good or bad or indifferent. You can take it how you want to take it. It says a lot. It says a lot.
And so I purposely wanted to bring you guys raw, uncut to watch me get lasered by one of the best people to ever do it. My brother Shiz 215 exclusive. And many people took that as an opportunity to try to slander me by saying, number one, I have fake hair, I have a unit.
Come on, man.
Like,
let me just say this if y'all never seen Jalen's hair. Jalen has a thick, dense hair like he's 19 years old. His beard and goatee is thick like this. He's got a Walter and Scotty beard. Like, you never seen Walter and Scotty from the Whisperers? It's thick. Everything is dense. Everything is dense. Now, he has other barbers when he's on the road. People might use color enhancers and so forth and so on. It is what it is. I'm not knocking nobody's hustle. But don't think for 1 minute that it's a thing where he needs it. Like, I'm not going to put nothing on his joint and just to cut him. And you'll see the difference. But it's like, come on, man. It's about value. It's not about knocking nobody else's down. We're talking about something as a general consensus when it comes to people and valuing things and what they deem valuable. If you value the club and value popping bottles and you value the relationship with your woman, you're going to have to value the same relationship with your barber because he's the reason that you look good in doing what you do. You got to value it. Stop. We always want something for nothing. Let's stop that.
so that's the first thing. Y'all saw me walk in literally with an afro. The other thing, I want my goatee to look natural in the middle. I don't want this part of it lined up. I want it to look natural. So I keep it natural.
What's up, Sid?
Good morning, brother.
What's up, brother?
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, how y'all doing? We on Instagram Live. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
sorry.
No, don't worry.
Am I in the picture?
No,
You good.
You good.
You good.
You know, I stay incognito.
No doubt, no doubt.
She is no. My bad.
Sorry.
All good. And as I said before, I'm 50 years old. Yes, I color my hair. So what? If my hair was 50% gray, I would flex it. But since it's only like 10 or 15% gray, I ain't gotta flex it yet. That's my choice. I want this to stay natural. Can't grow a beard. Won't grow. Probably because I had bumps on my face for so many years. I don't know. At 1 o'clock, I'm going live on AMP Radio. And the theme is work. Because since I've been trending the last 24 hours about the sanctuary of barbers and beauticians and challenging those that can pay to pay, well, there are people out there that have the ability to, but yet want to suppress how much they get paid. I'm always here to fight for the blue-collar worker. It's barbers, whether it's teachers, whatever profession it is, that provide an important service to the community. And I feel like people take them for granted. And just so y'all know, barbering is a skill. Or you would cut your own hair.
Try that, see how that happens. Pick a razor up and do yourself a razor hairline, and see what happens. Don't call your main man who you don't want to pay to help fix it either. Go on, take that chick out. Go on to the club, go to the job interview.
Barbers are entrepreneurs. They're independent contractors. In many ways, black businesses.
Let me give y'all one piece of I'll call it an ism. It's not about the barber that gives you the look, but again, it's about how the world perceives you in that look. Or you wouldn't be coming to get a haircut from the same dude over and over again. Mm-hmm. When you leave that barbershop, you feel like whatever you portraying to be, whatever armor you got on, whatever mask you got on, whatever flyness you got, it's believable because you polished. Because if the world didn't believe it, you can't sell what you're selling, my man. If the world doesn't believe that you believe in yourself, you can't sell nothing at the end of the day. So again, it's about value. And like I'm going to quote my man Wallow, again, take care of those who take care of you.
And I know there are a lot of gentlemen out there who have bald spots.
What? Listen, we're not even going to talk about that. No, we can talk about that.
Right. Like,
you want him to cover a light spot, a bald spot, make it look natural. Bald fade you. Fade your beard, blow your beard out, straight razor you, color it, and make it all look natural for $30, $40. That man saves your life. There's a lot of old heads out here that's dating young women, and if you ain't had a right barber, nigga, you be busted. Be clear. Most of the guys that you're paying and you're underpaying them are saving your life, and y'all know it. You just don't want him to know it. Saving your life. You know how you feel when you get out the chair.
And there's a reason why over the last 25 years, y'all have always seen me with a fresh cut. Because I value my barbers. And this is one of my good friends who just happens to cut my hair. This is 25 years.
And honestly, I don't even do this that often anymore.
You've never done this.
I don't do this as often anymore. He asked me to take a look at the comments because I don't follow social media that heavy. I don't post haircuts on my social media. Because life is more than that. It's about how we value each other. And I lead with that. You know what I'm saying? Honesty, integrity, transparency, how most men are supposed to lead. You're not being honest if you're not taking care of those that ain't taking care of you. There is no integrity if you're not letting them know what that man means to you, and you not leading with transparency, because you know if you went out there and you bagged the chick, or you went out and you did this because of you got a compliment on the cut, you don't come back and tell him most of that, or you don't pay him. You don't pay him like you pay like you weigh. You don't. So I do take issues with that.
I like that term. Pay like you weigh.
Pay like you weigh. You sitting there want to put a $30 million contract and you giving your barber and he only getting $30. Man, you better check your character, beloved.
Pay what you weigh.
Pay like you weigh. Because the only reason I'm saying pay like you weigh is the fact that regardless whether you make $300 a week or $3 million a week, you feel like $1 million when you leave your barber. You do. So how do you reciprocate that? How do you honor that feeling? What do you do? How do you honor that feeling? Again, it's about what you consider valuable.
And I know a lot of people try to take what I said out of context.
Of course they did.
And clearly I know everyone can't afford to spend $100 on a haircut. But my problem is for those who can, that A, don't, but also B, make sure they say it loud enough to where it's disrespectful to the craft. But then when you're trying to go to a premiere or you're going to jump in your $150,000 whip, you want to go get a cut.
And you want your barber to move everybody else out the way. Let's talk about that, the convenience of it.
And that's literally what I said. I'm here to protect the sanctuary of barbers and beauticians, because I want people to value time, the entrepreneurial spirit. And supporting businesses.
You know, this industry created the first female millionaire. Not even the first black female millionaire. First female millionaire, Madam C.J. Walker. Her money funded the Harlem Renaissance. Hairstylist.
Got a brother in here spitting some game. Madam C.J. Walker was a hairstylist. KRS-One said she made the straightening comb.
She did.
You won't know this if you weren't shown.
And she was the first millionaire who funded the Harlem Renaissance. I mean, it's a lot of history when it comes to this thing right here. But again, this culture right now, where are your values, which you deem valuable? Reason why it's called Sunday best, because on Sunday, that's all we had to do. You went to church, you made sure you got your hair done, you got a cut, and you put your Sunday best on. I'm talking about a culture right now where every day we're supposed to be on your Sunday best, so the universe can give you what you want. You feel great when you on Sundays you come from church. You're supposed to feel like that every day. And when you leave your cut, from leaving your barber, you feel like that when you leave. So all I'm saying is what you deem valuable.
Pay what you weigh. Oh, and this is the other thing. A barber can't give me a hairline. Genetics gave it to me. If that was the case, all men would have one. Newsflash.
Can I interject in there for a second? Since it's live and we all together.
Sure.
A barber actually can give you a hairline. The thing is, all of us aren't quite as blessed to have that hairline that you have. But the gifts, I guess you guys are talking a lot about the skill of the barber, right? And the skill is definitely there. You gotta know how to handle your tools and whatnot. But the barber also is gifted. When you're dealing with a gifted barber, you show your appreciation, like Shiz is talking about, right? For me personally, the price is the price. If you're sitting in the chair, you're paying a price. You show your love with your tip. You show your love and your appreciation with the extra on top of. You know?
Correct. You just made a great point, and I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of y'all don't tip. That's what it is. If you can't tip, then obviously that's not for you. But there are people who can, who choose not to.
And for me, the tip determines my response time too.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
We all busy.
Let me do one thing. Is it 10 o'clock? Okay, let me start this other show. I got my playlist for AMP today. The theme is work. Sorry to the other customers in here today that I've interrupted y'all Saturday with my IG live.
Good. No interruption. Somebody here. You let folks know where you are. There.
No, I never said undisclosed location. background music? Hold on 1 second for the music, because the IG Live gonna cut off. 5 minutes, I'll get off. If you don't mind, pretty please. Still gonna give y'all at least an hour show today. I'm gonna start it in like 15 minutes. And I want y'all to see this. See me get lined up by surgical Jesus.
By the way, if you're watching, and I know y'all been watching, I didn't add anything, just so you know. let y'all get close. I'm running behind. He's wanting me to do this to satisfy everybody and maybe to slow down the naysayers and bring a little civilness to the subject matter. But I got other clients of this brother's caliber. So, you know, the conversation kind of was long-winded just to clear the air. But I'm gonna let y'all see what's a close-up, and you see I didn't add anything. So we can put some of the naysayers to bed so that I can get back on with my day. So that's without a shape-up. That's with the shape-up. I didn't add anything. And we're not finished. So I'm gonna let him go ahead and, you know, see what's going on.
Ooh. Sit it back right here. Watch the master at work. Huh?
How you been?
Good, my brother. No
Right,
complaints.
it's literally, I used to go down there and see you all the time, probably about 13, 15 years ago, before you was born. Up with CJ. We used to
Oh,
have the
okay.
CD right there.
Oh, that's what's up. Good to see you again.
Yeah, man. I just seen it the other day. These Oakland Farmers.
Yes, sir.
Him and Mark, I just had seen them because I was in Frisco, but they both was up there, him and his Uncle Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just seen them boys, man.
Yes, indeed.
Amen.
Hey, what you weigh? Hit up my guy. Shiz 215 exclusive.
No enhancements. So everybody, when you see this, sometimes I can't say whatever other people do. If he's around me, this is what it is. There's no enhancements. He has thick, dense hair. They didn't add no follow. You didn't see me grab no gun that wasn't used. You didn't see me grab any follicles that wasn't used. When you from Philly, all you need is this. This is what you need. Learn the game. It is what it is.
Enjoy your Saturday. Love.
That'll be easy. Value, brother, value.
No extensions.
So,